Okay, so let's talk about the latest episode of Succession. This is the penultimate episode before we get to the grand finale of it all, not just of the season, but of the show in its entirety, which has been one of the best runs I think we've seen from a TV show in a long time. And many people are saying, and I will make a video about this as well, that when Succession and Barry end this week, that is the end of the golden era of TV. Whether or not this is true, let me know your thoughts and opinions. I have my thoughts and opinions, and I will let you know as well later this week. But let's get right into this episode that I think was definitely one of the best episodes, especially for Kieran Culkin's character of Roman. So very much so in this episode, we see the aftermath of the whole election fiasco. The streets are raging, everybody is pissed, everybody's not in the mood. It is Logan Roy's funeral, and I really thought that a lot of the mirroring of our society as well was definitely done well in this episode. That's a whole nother episode when Succession ends, because I do want to talk about that as well. But we do get to see how the siblings are reacting to the aftermath of that in light of also going to Logan Roy's funeral. And it's crazy to think that it's been about 4 or 5 days since episode where Logan died, in this episode right now. So everything that happened in between that, insane. So we do have this funeral that is going on right now. We do have Roman that is going to speak at the funeral. Connor's trying to speak at the funeral, and they are also seeing that Logan's brother's trying to as well. And so they're trying to keep it as small and as powerful as they can, because they're thinking the shareholders are thinking of the board and all of that. So they don't want any mishaps or any of that. You have Tom, who is dealing with the aftermath of being labeled as the one who broke the news and everything, and being sort of not trusted at it. And also at the same time, he kind of feels a way about not being at the forefront of the pages either, that are also discussing this. So he's like in a weird way, because he wants to be the one that did it, but he doesn't want to be the one that did it. And this is because he's trying to get on Menken's good side, who is now apparently the president. We'll see how that is going to flow into the next episodes. We see that pretty much all of the siblings here are sort of losing grip. We see Kendall with his family. We see Shib with her own family as well, being pregnant, and the whole Tom scenario. At the same time, also doing the thing she's doing with Matsson, trying to become CEO apparently, as she tells Matsson that might be a way to get Menken to do the deal, and that would be a better way to sweeten it up. American CEO, but it has to be Shib. Matsson, of course, is going to do whatever it takes. We're still not too entirely sure what Matsson's end goal is, if he even has one, or he just is somebody who reacts. We have Roman, who seems to be losing grip as well. At the funeral, he pretty much breaks down as he's about to give his own eulogy, and I think that is definitely one of the moments where we're going to see the downfall of Roman's character. Kendall takes the reins, and he gives a pretty strong and forward eulogy, especially in comparison to the earlier words that Logan's brother had given about Logan being evil and all of that. I think that definitely is Kendall sort of channeling the way of what his father would have said as well, in order for the eulogy to not only serve as a commemorative speech for Logan, but also as a bold statement to where the company was and is headed to now. And I think that we definitely see that he got some pretty good respect out of it from Menken and everybody else there. But it seems that might not just be enough, because later down we see that Roman is sort of being mocked for all of this. And you got to think about it, Roman and Kendall are kind of being thrown together as they are co-CEOs apparently. So even though Kendall might succeed in one aspect, Roman's still going to be looked at as his equal. So it kind of disbalances everything. I think that you even have Menken seeing this in a way where it's like, these two come as a package, it seems, and it's kind of a messy package, whereas Shib, even though I might not be totally in tune with her and she might not be in tune with me, it might just make the most sense, a clean slate, if you will, which we later hear Matsson say that Menken has somehow gotten a word of the deal and says, you know what, it could be a thing. It could be a thing we could definitely look into, as Matsson and Shib had talked to Menken earlier on in the episode. We also see that Kendall is definitely pulling off the gloves now and is going straight to Shib, knowing what Shib is up to. And it looks like he and Hugo are plotting something, definitely, which one of the best parts of the episode was the whole Hugo and Kendall little back and forth about Hugo being sort of a dog for Kendall. And we heard the wolf. I thought that was definitely something that threw me off. But we know that Kendall is very much so going to do whatever it takes to be sole CEO. He has said this since the aftermath of the Logan Roy's death, and he continues to do these power moves, if you will, at the presentation, at the funeral, and he's continuing to do so even later that night, blaming Roman and telling him it was his fault that he dropped the ball and all of that. And I think Roman definitely of the all of the siblings is the one that at this point is completely broken. As we see at the end of the episode, he's being mocked online for what has happened. He is being sort of seen as somebody who just pushed the Mencken deal without any sort of like in writing or anything of that, and sort of like messed it up as Kendall tells him. And we even see him at the end of the night just go into a swarm of protesters and just start fighting. And that's that masochism in Roman that we've seen so many times throughout the seasons, that he sort of wants to be degraded of sorts in order to feel superior. That's his whole thing right there, and that's exactly what we see at the end of this episode, because I think he was feeling down and everything, and he might have gotten the amusement of being punched and thrown around by those protesters out there. So overall, I think it was definitely an intense episode, one of the biggest ones for sure, where we definitely saw the siblings' allegiance completely break in between all of them. Usually there was like one or two that had a little allegiance together, whether it was Shiv and Roman or Kendall and Roman or what have you. But I think at this point we have seen them distance themselves from each other the most we've ever seen in all of the seasons. And I think we definitely are getting to a very, very epic showdown in the end. We have one episode left, but it is an hour and 30 minutes, so it's about 2 episodes combined, if you will. And I just don't know where it's going. I do have a theory video coming out tomorrow where I want to discuss all of the possibilities that we could get into, but at this point it's anybody's ball game, even cousin Greg, who I think is really sneaking through everybody. Nobody's going to see it coming, but he's talking to Mencken, he's talking to Mattson, he's doing good at ATN, and it just feels like we could definitely see a big upset for the siblings where cousin Greg comes in, full control of the reins, and is the new CEO. So we'll see what happens, but let me know your thoughts and opinions on the latest episode of Succession down below. What did you think about the whole thing with Kendall now just going full on throttle as trying to become sole CEO? Also Shib's throwing her name in the hat and not afraid for anybody to find out, and Roman's complete and utter destruction that he's doing to himself. Let me know in the comments down below. It's getting good, intense, and we're going to be covering it. But anyways, as always, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, we do have a theory video coming out on what the possibilities could be for the ending tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to know when that video drops. Make sure you hit that notification bell. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers currently. We are about to hit 28,000. Once we hit 28,000, we will do a giveaway. So don't miss out on that by hitting that notification bell, making sure you keep it locked in here. Follow us on all of our social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all provided over here. And I'll see all of you next time. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, stay safe, stay positive.